Good morning.
You okay, man?
How you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. And
Okay, let me
yourself?
get you turned up a little bit. All right.
How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad, thanks. Yeah, really appreciate you agreeing to speak to me.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No worries. Yeah, let me know if my accent's too thick.
Nope. Yeah, we're
You can
good.
hear me okay? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, excellent. So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning there. I take it
No, it's 11 o'clock.
11. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The weather's been great here. It's like our summer the past few days.
It's finally warming up here.
Yeah,
We've had a little bit of rain. Weather's been crazy this year, so
yeah.
it's nice to get some nice weather. It's beautiful out.
Yeah, it's about 64 degrees Fahrenheit in your
Right around
temperature
there.
here. Yeah,
No, it'll get hotter here.
yeah,
We only have about a month of anything cold around here, and then it's
yeah,
right back to hot and humid.
yeah. No, it's nice here. Yeah, but it's not going to last. It's going to dip a bit. I think tomorrow it's going to drop about 10 degrees. So
Good.
just in time for the bank holiday, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's great. I was really keen to speak to you because you seem very knowledgeable about the industry. You seem
I've
very
got
clued up.
I'm pretty versed on it and pretty opinionated about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You've got a lot of knowledge, mate.
I when I first got into this business, as a young guy doing rock and roll, I kind of heeded some early warnings from my father. He had
Yeah,
passed away before I got into the business, but he had a few statements, familiarity breeds contempt and some other things that he didn't trust a lot of people. He wanted everything read. He wanted everything passed before somebody, good or bad, or his good or bad decisions, and the same as
yeah,
me. But I was very leery about um, everything that was said to me, everything that we did, everything that was offered, going
yeah,
over it with a fine-tooth comb. And I tried to make myself as knowledgeable as I could, so that primarily I didn't get taken advantage of, and also so I could remain true to exactly what I wanted to do, you know?
yeah. You're very hands-on with the band as well now, aren't you? All tour
Absolutely. I
dates and
always
all
have
that.
been. I always have been. The band and the functioning of it and the live performances and things like that, and of course, the musical recordings. It's all been very important to me that, that I'm involved and it's what I want to do. Like I said, good or bad, I'm sure I've made some horrible decisions in the process.
You learn from them, don't you?
There's
You should do
um
anyway.
I mean, there's 100 opportunities that come your way that you can say yay or nay, and
Yeah,
you say nay based off of integrity, um, creative ability, and a lot of different reasons, and a
yeah,
lot of times you forego the stardom. I mean, it's the make a
yeah,
deal with the devil syndrome. I could have easily been. Uh, pretty big back in the 80s, but it would have been fleeting and it wouldn't have been something
yeah.
that I wanted to do. It would have
Would have
been
burnt out quite quickly,
yeah,
potentially.
it's when you sell yourself out and you're doing something that somebody's telling you to do, you're least likely
Yeah,
to continue doing it.
yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? If they tell you to change style, sing a different way, play a different way, write a different way, you just kind of
Yeah,
you lose your own integrity and then you're
yeah,
quick
yeah,
to get out. And like I said, there were probably several opportunities where I should have said yes, fame-wise,
yeah.
uh, but chose to, stay true to what I want to do. And I
Got to
think
stay
it's
true to yourself,
well, and
creatively,
the benefit
creatively,
in
I
the
think.
long term is
Yeah,
people see that, and fans
yeah,
see that, and fans who appreciate, music and good music and entertainment, enjoy
yeah.
the fact that you're up there doing what you want to do. They can tell. They can
Yeah.
tell we're on stage enjoying
They can spot the
ourselves.
fraud, can't they?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Okay, mate. Um, you start off with a little introduction about yourself? I'll go. Louis Prima Jr. is an American jazz swing musician. His father, Louis Prima Sr., was famously the voice of King Louis in the Jungle Book, as well as being an influential musician. So, how would you categorize your music? Would you say it was swing jazz, but with the heart of rock and roll?
I call it prima music. I always kind of felt my father had his own style. I don't think you could have categorized him as jazz
Yeah,
or swing. He was kind of a mix of everything, and it was his own style. And
yeah,
I feel like where in the beginning of this project, back in 2004, we were probably swing, we were probably jazz, but we've morphed very nicely into an original product that I think we have our own sound. It's definitely rooted in rock and roll. It's
yeah,
definitely more aggressive than what you will find out of a swing band or a jazz band, while maintaining some jazz roots and some swing roots, and of course the horns and um, it's kind of uh, I liken us a little bit closer to say Tower of Power, or when Tower of Power was on the road with Jay Giles band, that type of vibe and live energy.
yeah. Yeah, I've seen you have a few interviews, and you've mentioned the Jay Giles band quite a bit. Yeah, you must be a big fan of theirs. Yeah,
That was, one of the earlier concerts I went to as a kid. I mean, I was still in high school, still in school, and I was completely, like the band AC/DC. I mean, I've liked them since I was young,
yeah,
young. They're one of my favorite bands ever. And one of the primary reasons is the live performance and that no holds barred entertainment. And Peter Wolf as a front man, as a guy with a microphone in his hand, brilliant, brilliant what he did. He can, it's very few people can command an entire stage just by themselves. And conduct what's going on behind him in unison. And he's one of those guys. And when I saw them, I mean, it just kind of blew me away. I really didn't know the songs. I mean, I think what was it? Freeze Frame was the first big hit off of the album at the time. And you went to the concert, and I knew two of the songs they played, but it was incredible. And I became an immediate fan.
yeah. In the UK, we only know. Well, I only know the big one. Yeah,
Yeah.
the centerfold in this country. Yeah,
Yeah, but they're incredible. I mean, they're such a fun band. Their live albums are incredible. They just, it's one of them fun bands. I like to go see
mhm,
bands that are fun, that make, that you want to enjoy yourself, and you don't need all the props, you don't need all the
yeah,
light shows, you don't need
yeah,
scantily clad dancers and computer
yeah.
electronics. Just guys doing it is the best
Yeah.
thing.
I'll have to check out that '82 album. I think, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
there's
big
a,
one,
it's
and then
a, so the, it's the album is Showtime. And that's the
yeah,
tour that I saw them on,
yeah.
was the
Oh,
Showtime
nice one.
tour. Yeah, and they've got the tower, like I said, the Tower of Power horns are playing with them, and it's just an incredible start to finish live album. It's incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, excellent. So I believe your third album's been finished for a few years, hasn't it? Is that correct?
Yeah, we do have a third album that's sitting in the can, and the unfortunate part of being in the music business is when a silly little thing like a pandemic and a world shutdown
Yeah, yeah,
happens,
yeah,
there's no contingency plan for you.
yeah,
Uh, and we then on top of it, the economy just kind of pounded us uh into the ground, into submission. We're not a big, we're not a Lady Gaga that uh can continue on that type of level. Our shows are expensive to get there, to travel. There's
hits
12 of us
everyone,
on.
doesn't it?
Yeah, there's
Mm,
12 of us on the road. There's 12 hotel rooms, 12 meals every
yeah,
day, 12 airfares, 12 bus tickets, whatever the story.
yeah,
So it put a hurting on us, as well as a lot of friends of mine in the industry.
yeah,
So it's a climb to get back. We're bound by uh the terms of Universal Music Distribution and other entities that are involved in a major label release, where you have to have X, Y, and Z before you release. So we're
yeah,
sitting on it. We're waiting until the time is right. You don't want to, you know, um, the world is different than it was in the 80s and 70s, where you could release an album and make money off of it. That's not where the money is. The money's in the tour support. So you can't spend the money on the album unless you got the tour support, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah,
we're working hard to do it. I know it's a lot of stuff that the common man won't understand. They all go, "Come play my town." I'm like, well,
yeah,
I need a venue. I need somebody to front the
yeah.
money for the venue. I need,
There's a
there's
hell
a
of a lot
ton
of
of
work
stuff.
behind the scenes, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff
Wow.
going on, but we're very excited about it. I mean, it's a third step in the direction that that the music
Yeah,
I think we wanted it to go. Um, it's a little bit of a departure from our second album, which is a departure from the first album, and I think that's what you want to do as an artist is kind of
yeah,
grow into what you do, but you can still listen to it and go, "Oh, I know that band," you know?
yeah, yeah. You still evolve, but yeah, like a continue a progression, isn't there, from the previous
It
albums?
is.
Like to
It
see.
is, and I've got it's kind of a brilliant an amazing friendship and relate and business relationship and creative relationship with Jim Irvin, who's the president of the record label Warrior Records.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
work really well together. His skills in the studio are amazing.
yeah,
He's just good at what he does, and we work well together, and we're able to do things with his relationships. Well, and it actually kind of started with a relationship we fostered back in 2010. Um, my team was instrumental in finally getting my father a star on the Hollywood Walk
yeah.
of Fame
Mm.
in 2010, after 14 years of trying. And we were able to perform at the event. Uh, and it was a one of a kind event. It was their 50th anniversary, so there was a huge street party. It was one of the most attended star ceremonies in their history. I think only John Lennon garnered more crowd
Yeah.
support.
Didn't you go into
They
𝚑𝚘𝚞𝚒 Records or something? Was it?
Yes, we
Yeah,
did. We
yeah,
after we performed, one of my management team said, "Hey, come here. Their Capitol
yeah,
Records is actually open
yeah,
to the public." And I talked to the security guy. There was a line. There was like 400 people, 500 people waiting to get in. He goes, I talked to the security guard, told him who you were. Um,
yeah,
so we kind of snuck in and we went in, and one of the first things they do is Studio B, and they've got Studio B set up with giant cutouts of my father, and they're using his recording of Sing 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 to demonstrate the echo chambers. So we kind of from there we just kind of fostered a friendship with some of the people there. And when we got, together with Jim Irvin, a deal was struck to get in to Capitol Records. And another deal was struck with Capitol Records to use one of my father's recordings on the second album, Blow, where I
yeah,
get to sing a duet with my father.
yeah.
The song is
That's my
the
home.
song's yeah, that's my home.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's a little known
It's
song
a
that my
gorgeous
father
track.
did, but I think it's amazing. I think
Yeah,
you know, the fact that that's just my father's voice playing with my band,
yeah,
it was, there were a lot of tears shed and a lot of
yeah,
chill moments putting that together. And, as we moved forward to get ready to record this album, we were playing at a club in LA called the 𝚑𝚞𝚒𝚒 Club. It's been in a ton of movies. It's a historic venue. Um, and Jim had come to see us play, and after the show, I'm upstairs in the uh, absinthe bar getting a shot of absinthe, and Jim says to me, "Hey man, we gotta record that song on this album."
yeah,
And we were already doing all originals, and I went, "Well, okay." He goes, I love that song, and I think you guys blow it apart."
yeah. I love the way
Um,
your voices blend together. It's really
Yeah,
something else.
and he surprised me with that. So we went in to record, and it's Pennies from Heaven, and we went in to record it, and we'd come up with a different arrangement and some things, and we got in the studio, and Jim said, "Hey, look, we got to go back to your father's key, original key, and I want to do it at that tempo and
Yeah,
try to play it as close to that cuff as you can." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Well, I'm trying to work another deal, trying to get permission, and we'll see
yeah,
how it goes." So then when we're doing, the modern of tech, the genius of technology is he and I can produce the album. I'm in New Orleans, he's in Calabasas, California. And over the internet and magic, we go back and forth. So what we're doing is we're doing the part of the album where we're just putting the instruments in space. You can't have all the instruments here. So you got to put, the kick drum here, the snare here. Where does the instrument sound the best in the full spectrum of the sound? And he sends me Pennies from Heaven to start playing it, and I click play to listen start to finish, and then I go back and I make notes. And as I'm playing, it wasn't until the middle of the song that I realized I was singing with my father. And
Bunch of
you know,
sound identical.
and yeah, and it just, I think probably because I was more in tune to listening to instrumentation than anything. But I was like, oh my God, that's wow, we do sound alike. And then, by the end of the song, where 𝚑𝚘𝚞𝚒 is playing on the sax, and we use both bands in full force. So it's that alone, I can't wait to get out just
Yeah.
because I think that I don't know, I you kind of got to hear it to get the chill factor and go, wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty remarkable,
Must be something singing with the parents. Do you remember the Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole duet? A
Absolutely,
bit like that, isn't
absolutely.
it?
It is neat, and it's especially when we were doing That's My Home, you knew we were doing it. We're in one year you've got my father's band playing so that we can keep that tempo,
Yeah.
and you're playing along with the band, and then as you start doing the vocals, he's there. But Pennies from Heaven, we did kind of not knowing what we were doing, and to get that product laid in my lap was um, I don't know. It's neat. It's a neat
Yeah.
it's a neat opportunity that I would have loved to have sang with my mother or father live. And to be able to do it through technology is pretty cool.
Yeah. So I take it you got your love of music through your father.
I don't know. Probably. I mean, music was everywhere. So
Yeah.
you know, it kind of happened. Actually, my mom taught me how to play drums when I was 5 years old. Uh, And then I started taking piano lessons from my aunt, who was a nun down here in New Orleans, Sister Mary Ann, my father's sister. Um, there's a couple pictures of my father holding the trumpet up to my mouth and showing me some things. But I really didn't pick music um, seriously until high school. And that's really the first time I picked up the trumpet. And then when I got out of school, I'm like, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go to university. I'm going to get a business degree. I want nothing to do with the music business. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and part of it is because I just kind of didn't think I was any good. I didn't believe I was really good at the instruments that I was playing. Sure I could play. People will tell me I'm good. I just didn't think I was the Eddie Van Halen of what I was doing. You know what I mean? And I kind of felt like if I was going to play an instrument, I needed to be brilliant, and I wasn't.
Did you feel a
Um,
bit daunted because of who your father was? Because he was such
no,
a
I just
quality
it I
musician.
and I that that kind of doesn't happen till later in life, but it just
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wasn't. I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed it. I just um, like I said, people will tell me I'm good. I didn't think I was good enough. So I'm going to get in a business degree and I'm going to do something else. I don't know what yet. And then I start sitting in with friends' bands. I'm sneaking into clubs because I knew some doormen and I wasn't old enough to be in there. And friends are because I was the guy in the parking lot that would stand on my car and sing at the top of my lungs
Yeah.
back in
Yeah.
school. Um, and somebody said, "Come on up and sing." It was "Walk This Way" from Aerosmith.
Yeah. Nice.
First song I ever sang. And I quickly just kind of figured out that wow, that's what I'm good at. Not
Yeah.
singing, not singing, all of it. The whole thing
Yeah.
with the microphone and standing in front of a crowd and being
The
that guy.
posture
Yeah,
even. Yeah.
that being that guy was it. And I
Yeah.
very quickly moved on from going to school. I think I only lasted one semester and started putting bands together and going out and singing. And I did rock and roll for 10 years until you realize, that elusive record deal is not going to happen. Let me move on. And music became part-time
Mm.
until a fluke meeting with an old friend that said, I got a guy that's looking for a Louis Prima type band. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Who better to ask? Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, all right, let's
No, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
see where this takes
Yeah.
me. And then
Yeah.
at 45 years old, you get that record deal. Um, so I think it's a lesson to never stop trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you
Uh,
went into the food and beverage industry, didn't you, for a while?
yes, yeah, I've always been in that at some aspect as well. I love the restaurant business. My mother's side of the family on the East Coast of the states here in New York, New Jersey, own restaurants.
Yeah.
Um, and God knows I love food. So,
Yeah. Don't we
one
all?
of my
Don't we all?
early jobs was 15 years old, and I was working in an Italian restaurant, and I ended up in the kitchen as a cook at
Yeah.
15. So it's something I loved, but more in the management aspect of it.
Yeah.
Just because I love people, I love interacting with people, I like motivating people, I like seeing people take pride in themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been pretty lucrative and successful in that part of the world as well, you know.
Yeah, the music industry can be quite hard to sustain at times, can't it? I think.
It is, and it always has been, unless you're that superstar, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, or unless you're that really great guitar player or drummer that can go play with anybody. As a singer, you're kind of, I'm the singer. People got to come sing with me.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so it's, I've been, like I said, fortunate that this incarnation of the music business has afforded me a way of living
yeah,
and a means to raise my children and things
yeah.
like that. So it's I'm fortunate. I'm blessed for it.
No, that's great. That's why I'm trying to get into it so I can do a job that I love
Yeah,
and make it,
and
make it
that
profitable as well.
yeah, that's the important thing. You've got to enjoy what you're doing no matter
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
And I think what's gotten us over as a band, everybody I play with is a complete love of what we're doing. We don't
yeah,
we're
yeah,
not up there to go look at me. We're up there because we love what we're doing and we love
yeah.
entertaining people and having a good time.
And nothing's half-assed then because they all
No.
love it, don't they? Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
what you
we
want.
are all on 110% every time we hit the stage.
Yeah, excellent. So your eldest son's a tattoo artist and your younger son's a fireman
That is
and he's been
correct. My
a bit
my
of a
oldest is
musician as well.
you'll excuse me. My oldest son, when he was tiny, when he was a little guy, you knew he was going to be an artist.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, he was really good at drawing. And it was kind of, his love of art that me and my youngest son kind of
yeah,
banded together and talked him into going and doing tattoos. I mean, it's obvious I like tattoos, and
yeah. I got
he
my
was a.
first one about a month ago. Yeah, yeah.
It becomes
It's
addicting,
beautiful.
man. Yeah,
My favorite
Queen,
band,
gotta love
Queen.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it becomes addicting. You start wanting to put everything that's important to you on yourself. But he
Yeah,
was, he had a love of it, and he was an artist. And I had a friend that would apprentice him and get him kind of fast track him to getting licensed to make money at it.
yeah, yeah,
And we talked him into it, and whether he liked it or not to begin with, he grew fond of it. He's running a shop in
yeah.
Arkansas out
Yeah.
here, does some amazing,
Tattoos are
amazing
big business,
work.
aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah, he bought his first house, and my granddaughter is going to be 3 years old this year.
Yeah, oh,
So
lovely.
he started his family and
Yeah,
does quite well. And my other son would be jumping out of airplanes if he wasn't a fireman. He's an adrenaline junkie.
yeah, yeah,
He's the guy that does everything. And he probably gets a little bit of from me, but he's 110% in everything he does. He loves the adrenaline.
yeah.
And one day came up and said, I want to be a fireman. How can we do that? And we made
What
it
a
happen.
responsibility that is, being a fireman.
It's
People's
he
lives in your
loves it.
hands.
he loves it. Obviously I respect him for who he is as well,
Yeah,
but it garners a lot of respect.
yeah.
That's a loveless job right there that people,
Good pay as well. Yeah,
yeah, that doesn't
yeah,
pay. It does afford him a lot of freedom and the
mm,
ability to do things because he's a pretty accomplished
mm,
drummer as well. He's
yeah.
actually started subbing on gigs for me, which is
Oh,
no
nice. Yeah,
no small
yeah,
task because my
yeah,
drummer
yeah,
is brilliant, but
yeah,
he's a brilliant musician, and the most important thing is both my kids are amazing souls, and
yeah,
they're smart,
yeah.
they're kind, they're giving, and they're intelligent, you know.
Yeah. Do they enjoy the swing music that you do? I take it.
They do. They
Yeah.
absolutely do. They absolutely
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
They both have a love of music. I think they both um respected the business as much as I did and understood
Yeah. Yeah.
the comings and goings of it and things like that. But they do love the music and uh where the younger son will jump on stage if I ask him. The older son, I've gotten up there a couple times and he will, doesn't want to be
A little
there.
bit more reluctantly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, great. So, do you think swing music's got a place in the charts these days? Because the likes of Rod Stewart and Robbie Williams have released successful swing albums in this country.
Everybody kind of goes back to that. I think the music business is stuck in a rut. Uh, I think it's stuck in a rut because of businesses like Live Nation, and other conglomerates that have pretty strict control on venues and ticket sales. Um, I think the record industry as a whole is right now is run by like if it wasn't a money grab before, it's a money grab now because I could literally walk out of my house right now, pick anybody, bring them in my house, record them, fix their vocal to where they sound great, and if they're good looking, I could dress them in a bikini and stick them on stage with 30
Yeah.
dancers and a light show that I paid for and
Yeah.
pay them minimum wage, and they would be a star. Um, it's a little depressing to me. I mean, it's
Yeah.
even, I don't think there's music in popular music right now.
You've
I
mentioned
think
Simon Cowell before, so you're aware of him, aren't you?
I love him. Here's the thing about Simon Cowell. When American Idol first came out and he started gaining prominence and everybody hated him because of the way he talked and things like that. Everything I always said, I go, that's the music business though.
Yeah, he's very intelligent, isn't he, as well with it?
Yeah, he's hugely intelligent, and
Yeah.
you've got to be blunt and to the fact, and
Mm.
the business is not blunt with itself right now. I mean, even rap music. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and they were a little shocked that I do enjoy some early rap and things like
Yeah,
that. I
I
said,
do. Yeah, I'm big into my rap music.
right now it's kind of gutless. There's nobody out there
Yeah,
with a style. It's all the
well, it's no
same
good, is it?
thing over and over and over again. And that's
Yeah,
the same thing with the pop stars. It's the same thing over and
yeah,
over and over again.
yeah,
Um, you really got to look hard to find those gems, the Blackberry Smokes of the world and things like that that are the new guys that are out there, rival sons making music. And sounding good and putting on brilliant performances with just a band and things like that. It's out there. It's
yeah.
out there. Um,
Just got to do a little bit more digging, haven't you, to
got to
find
do a bit more
those great
digging.
artists?
And
So,
as far as swing music, look, I sat in an airport bar one day with Snoop Dogg for no reason other than he asked me if I knew a place in the airport where you could go smoke.
yeah, I'm surprised you haven't collaborated with him. He's collaborated with everyone
Well,
else.
so I walked him into a bar and he found out I was Louis Prima Jr. and we immediately had a discussion about music and drums and
Yeah,
sing 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 and my father and the
yeah,
music business and the music world. And the one thing that I will say is that music like my father's or we're all getting a little bit older right now, so you can say the music of people like Queen, of people like Pink Floyd, people like AC/DC, people like my father are influencing still to this day
Yeah.
what goes on musically in the
Yeah.
world. And the main reason for my father's music is because it is just feel good music. Um,
Yeah.
I don't, there may or may not have been messages in some of them songs, but my father's message was enjoy life and have a good
Yeah.
time. And I think
Yeah.
that, the songs that I hear that I like, there's somewhere in that song that I'm listening to, there's a good time and laughter,
Yeah. Yeah. I watched your podcast with Johnny Christ. That was
Did you?
excellent. I
I
really
love
enjoyed
him.
that.
He was a neat
Yeah.
guy.
Watched
Yeah.
all of that, about an hour and a half of it. And you talk about grunge in that, and you said you were never a fan of that genre. So why do you think
Grunge.
bands like Nirvana were so successful in the early 90s
Look,
then?
grunge saved music and killed music all at one time. I was not a fan of grunge. Grunge is the reason I got out of the rock business.
Yeah.
Because I got tired of people saying you need to sing like Eddie Vedder and play like grunge. So bands like Nirvana, that's Nirvana is rooted in punk music, punk rock. Uh,
Yeah.
Early days of Nirvana, um, that was punk rock. I think what grew out of that in the Seattle area was a very depressing musical movement.
Yeah.
There wasn't not a lot of joy in their music. There are some
Yeah.
good songs. Don't get me wrong, there's some good
Yeah.
acts.
Yeah.
Um, but as a whole, that genre was not
Very
very
moody, isn't it?
happy.
I think moody kind of music.
Yeah, but it came to prominence primarily because Nirvana was punk rock. I don't
Yeah.
think Nirvana really started off as grunge. They were punk. Smells like Teen Spirit. When you hear that and see some videos of before then, they were punk rock. They were a punk rock movement. They were bucking the system. And the system at the time was long hair, chord bands that was just junk, garbage. I don't want to talk about people, but like some of that hair metal from the late 80s was,
It killed. That's it killed the hair metal off, didn't it?
oh, it was
From
awful. Well, it was
overnight,
awful,
killed it
so it
overnight.
needed to be replaced.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the music industry was in disarray because there were not too many people, there were not too many pioneers. There were not a lot of guys out there finding new innovative acts and fostering them. Something would come out, Guns N' Roses comes out, and then every band has to sound like Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Something comes out, every Poison comes out, every band has to sound like Poison.
Yeah. Well,
So
Dr. Taylor from Queen says on MTV at that time it was every other record was a White Snake record
yes, it was
on
awful.
MTV.
It was
Yeah.
awful, and Nirvana was saving the world from that. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, the world got caught up in the same thing that had been going on because every gutless A&R guy
Yeah.
signed a Pearl Jam Nirvana wannabe band. Pearl Jam was doing Bon Jovi tribute songs
Yeah.
before they were Pearl Jam. They all jumped on this bandwagon and rode it until that fizzled out because, you know, people want to be happy. People want to go see Uncle Kracker. There's
Yeah. Oh
uh
yeah.
yeah, people want to go see Kid Rock jump around stage and make a fool of everything. That's the fun of going to a concert. And to
Yeah.
me and to a lot of the world, grunge did not have that. But it got us out of that hair metal.
It was needed at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't listen to the Sex Pistols all the time, but that's iconic, isn't it? That album,
Oh, brilliant. It's
1977,
still, I've
just
got
turned everything on.
of the millions of songs that I have a playlist that I just call medley, but it's like when I get in the car, I'll hit that playlist and it's probably got, 400 songs on it, but uh Pretty Vacant is
Oh
on
yeah,
there twice for some
that
reason.
intro is incredible, isn't
Yeah, there's
it?
you get they were punk. That's the aggression I enjoy in music, you know?
Yeah.
The band the Deftones, I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I was going to ask you
Um
about the Deftones because I don't know an awful lot about them. So how would you
so
tell the Deftones to me?
so the Deftones, um, band out of Sacramento. I mean, shoot, it's been when did that first album come out, man? I mean, they started in the 90s. Um, and their first album, Adrenaline, was very hard
Yeah.
rock, very but there was something about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was Chino, the singer. And then they came out with the album with Around the Fur on it. And it just like, I think they found their stride. And the only way I can describe this is Chino, the singer, my God, he's got to have a 5 octave range. And I'll never forget the first time I went to go see him because the first thing I went to go see him and I said, there's no way this guy is singing this live because Chino can whisper the sweetest note.
Yeah.
And the very
Sounds
next
like Freddie
note will be
Mercury.
the highest, loudest scream, and then right back to
Yeah.
singing. And it's all over the place. And I
Yeah.
go, there's no way he's doing this live. And he did it live. And not only did he do it live, but the drummer, Neil Peart, is one of the greatest technicians in the world on the drums. When he's playing the drums, he's playing it exactly like he recorded it. Every note, every time the drum head gets hit, it's in the same spot.
Yeah.
Deftones drummer is that guy. It's
So you
such
were
an
taken by them
artful.
pretty early on, the Deftones,
It,
yeah?
yeah, I loved them early on, even more so when I saw them live. There's a great aggression to their music. There's a great simplicity to their music. Um, it's very listenable to just sit in a chair and sip a whiskey
Yeah.
and listen to
Yeah.
that at top volume. And there's a listenability when you go see them live. The power, like you go see AC/DC live, there's just power. It's
Yeah.
just power. It's just adrenaline and power.
It smacks
And
you between the eyes. Yeah.
that's what I get from the Deftones. Like I said, the music is probably not everybody's cup of tea. It's
Yeah.
hard edge,
Yeah.
um, but it is pretty and it is well written. It is probably some of the best produced music out there as far as production value. The musicianship across the board is incredible. And the one thing I like about them is they do use computer work on their songs and
Yeah.
things that you can't do live. So to compensate for that, they have a guy on stage with a computer playing the computer and a
Yeah.
keyboard
Yeah.
so that there's not a recording. Everything's still
Mm.
live. And they're
Okay.
they're
Yeah.
it's just kind of one of those things where you go take a chance on something. And you never know.
Yeah.
If you want to hear a pretty song, go listen to the song Drive from the Deftones. Pick that as your
Yeah.
first song and then
Okay. Yeah.
go get Around the Fur. And it's just you're gonna listen to it and go, there's a lot going on there and it's good.
Yeah. You see
Yeah.
lots of people on Instagram holding Deftones vinyl, and bands like Tool as well seem quite
Tool as
popular.
well. I mean, there's so many, like I said, there's so many good bands out there that are, you just kind of have to accidentally find them.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy, every once in a while, these little known bands, they get $1 in the mailbox because somebody actually bought their recording instead of just streamed it. And guys,
Yeah.
that's me. I'm the
Yeah.
one hitting buy,
Yeah.
because I'm a huge supporter of people making music and it's,
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
I'm in the greatest town for it too. Look, when I moved here in the middle of the pandemic, moved back here, uh, and boy, that first few months of the pandemic, we all thought we were gonna just not die of the pandemic. We thought we were just gonna die. Um, you took music from me, and you took music from the world, and music is such an
But the arts really
important
suffered in the
it's such an
hospitality as
important
well.
part of the world, music. You can't get into an elevator without music. There's music everywhere. And I came to New Orleans and they were still playing damn music. They were setting up outside of buildings
Um,
in the street and playing music, and it was such a joy, that there is still a town full of people that enjoy, appreciate, revel in, support.
yeah.
There are bands that play 5 times a week, and 5 times a week they're sold out, packed, because people here just love music, and I wish the rest of the world would kind of
Yeah.
catch on.
Yeah. But Liverpool as well has got a really vibrant music scene. Yeah. I love it.
Absolutely. Japan's got, there are spots in the world where music is still important. And there's
Yeah.
people still out there doing it, and God bless those people that
Yeah.
are out there doing it for us.
They're great unsigned artists. A lot of them like to be independent, like doing their
It's
own thing.
well, that's the way you can make money nowadays. I mean, there's no money in the record industry. You've got to create your
Yeah.
own wealth with it. You've got to
Yeah.
create your own opportunity with it. You've got to play out there. You got to have something to sell when you're playing out there.
Yeah.
And you have to have a product. You've got to be original. You have to have a product, you know.
Yeah. So do you like a lot of British music? Because I know you covered Goody Two Shoes by Adam and the Ants. But what was the thought behind that?
That it's funny. It's um a friend of mine, I don't remember the year, took me to go see Adam Ant just because they said he was a great showman.
Yeah,
And
yeah, still
I
doing
don't
his
even
thing
think
now.
I don't even think I was listening to the song back then. And I went to see them
Mm.
live and was like, that was a good show, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And let me go check out some of his stuff.
yeah,
And Goody Two Shoes just kind of happened. We were looking for a song to redo. We were looking for something to remake. And we were looking, and there were so many ideas being thrown at me from all directions, and they're going, you could swing this really good. That would sound really good with a walking bass line.
yeah,
And I'm going, no way you can do it. No way you can do it. And I was driving in the car, and Goody Two Shoes comes on my little playlist, and I'm thinking in my head, and it went in my head, and I went, that's kind of perfect, you know?
yeah. Probably lends itself to swing music, doesn't it? Because it's
It
fast paced.
absolutely does. It's upbeat, it's poppy, it's fun. It's already got
Yeah,
that kind of shuffle beat built into it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, let's do that and just have some fun. I don't like to force things. For things need to be accessible to us. Let us force the original music. We want our original music to be difficult for us. We want
Yeah.
our original music to challenge us as musicians. But if you're going to do a
Yeah, covers are
remake,
just
make it
meant to be
fun.
fun, aren't they? At the end of the day,
Yes, exactly.
and just jamming out in the studio. So,
That's-
what are your favourite British acts then?
I mean, I listen to all music, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I listen to all music. If it's good, I listen to it. I have a wide range of tastes, from all over the place. There's a God, I'm not gonna come up with the name of it. You're gonna make me want to look it up. Not Lucky, not Lucky Stripes, Lucky. It's a British band I just found, and they've got a
yeah,
cellist in the band.
yeah.
So it's a
Right.
guitar, drums, cello, and a couple singers. They don't have a bass player, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
The name's
yeah,
not coming to me right now.
yeah.
Luck,
I was connected to your head in that, isn't
lucky
it?
something.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
message you with it, and
yeah.
you
You
go
look
look
it
at
up
it.
after this
Yeah.
interview. Yeah. Well, I love a lot of American music as well. I got into Todd Rundgren through my dad. My dad's a big Todd Rundgren fan.
Love Tug Around. Look, there's so much good music in the world.
Yeah,
New music, old music. You want to have a good time, go watch an old Rolling Stones concert.
yeah,
They
oh
were
yeah,
good. Yeah, no, not even that. Faces. Go
yeah,
watch
oh,
them,
yeah,
in their early concerts. Go watch
yeah.
AC/DC. Go watch uh like I said, there's a uh US band that you got me naming bands now. I can't even think. Blackberry
Name dropper.
Smoke. Blackberry
Yeah, I've
Smoke. What
heard
an
a few people have mentioned them that I know. Yeah,
incredible
yeah,
band making music. Like I said, there's stuff out there, and uh, I find a lot of them. It's funny. I find a lot of the music I listen to by watching TV shows every once in a while.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
a lot of the stuff out there, you get. I got quite a few. So what was that series? Peaky Blinders. They had some great
Oh yeah,
music on
yeah.
that. They
That's
had
great.
some
Yeah.
great music on that.
When
But
you
you
have
you
Nick
hear
Cave
it, and then
singing
I'll pull up my phone and
the
go, "Who
song
is
to the
this?"
star.
And you find these guys, or on Apple Music, you scroll down to the what's new.
Yeah.
and you play a
Spotify's
couple.
brilliant as well, isn't it? For all this.
Yeah, it's easy to find stuff. The social media, it's easy to find new bands out there trying to do stuff. And I'll look at it and then I'll go try to find three songs of theirs that I like. And I think if I like three songs of yours, I can be a fan and I'll buy the album,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I just and I try to go see as many live shows as I can. I love
Mm.
live music. I'm a huge live music fan. And I look forward to the days where we get tired of the pop music that's out there right now and move back into bands. They did a study. I'm going to mess up the numbers, but they did a study that 30 years ago, it was something like 60% of the 60 of the Hot 100 were bands.
Yeah. It's totally the
60
opposite
of
now, isn't it?
Yeah, 60 of the last when this report came out, they did it by decade, and currently one band on the Hot 100. One.
It's really
Um,
tragic, that, isn't it? Really
well, and
sad.
it makes music stale because
Yeah.
the pop artists aren't using music. They're using the same guy on the same
Yeah.
computer writing the same notes, and
Yeah.
it's not music. It's not orchestra.
It's
Go
all
listen
generic, isn't
to
it? Quite generic
Go
it can
listen
be.
to an orchestra.
Yeah.
Go see the local orchestra and listen to the
Yeah.
orchestration. Listen to the music, the oral palette. That's why
Yeah.
music is good.
Yeah. It's all collaborations in the UK charts as well.
Yeah, it's
A
weird.
lot of people are afraid to go it alone, but they feel they've got to
It's
have someone
cheaper to
backing
do it
them up.
that way. I can do an album on my computer tomorrow.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah. Yeah.
Taylor Swift's album has what, 36 songs on it? I
Yeah.
I guarantee you 90% of that was done by artificial intelligence. Have you listened to the
Yeah.
album? I unfortunately had to
No,
sit
but
with somebody, listen to the entire album, and I was like,
yeah,
sorry, Taylor,
it's in the
unlistenable.
wife's collection. The wife's got it
It's
on
just,
vinyl.
I'm like, come
Yeah.
on. Ugh. Um,
I like the track with Post Malone, one of the singles.
yeah, I mean,
Very good.
the problem is that it's just not, it's not musical. There's no music. It's not musical. It's cheap. It's quick. I can make a recording
Yeah.
tomorrow on my computer and send it to you, and you'll go, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like everything else that's out there right now.
Yeah.
Um,
The likes of will.i.am and David Guetta, just are, geniuses are pushing a button, aren't they? And
several people look, and no offense to him, my guitar player, Ryan, um, you know, started it during the pandemic. Well, he started it a while ago, but when the pandemic hit, he just sat at his computer, got really good at Logic Pro, and you can
yeah,
buy drum tracks online. When my drummer found out that it wasn't a drummer, he was
yeah.
just dumbfounded because it sounds like a drummer,
That's like the drum
but you
machines all over again, isn't it?
yeah,
The
it's just
drum machine
it's
put
easy
people
to
out of
do and it's
business.
cheap. Now you've paid nobody, you're not
Um,
paying studio time. And if you can make that person a
yeah,
star because you have money and it takes money to make money, you're richer than you were yesterday, and this person's still out there working, and in 5 years nobody's going to care they existed.
yeah. It's like the Human League, Don't You Want Me was like the first track that used an artificial drum machine, and
Yeah,
that's the drummer out of a job there, isn't it?
yeah,
Back in '81.
it's good
Would
if
you
you
like to
like it.
bring
I
would you like to bring
uh,
your show to the UK then, Louis?
so one of the unfortunate things about the pandemic, we were gearing up for the release of the album. We had 220, I think it was 223 dates scheduled. That doesn't
Yeah,
mean they were contracted, they were scheduled. It was going to be our busiest year, and 30 of those dates were uh, in Europe, um,
yeah,
uh, various places. So we'd love to get back there. We've always had a good time when we've played out there. Uh, but we're right back to, costs a lot of money to get us there.
yeah.
We're
Not half, yeah.
I think the last time we played in Wales Wales
Right, yeah,
and Swansea and one other
yeah, yeah,
place. Um,
yeah,
the last time we went out there, I think our airline tickets were like $600 a piece, round trip. Um, I just bought tickets to go to Italy, and
yeah.
they were $2,000 a person. So
Apparently, it's
we're
a good
working
time to
on
be
what,
going to the US, though.
yeah,
Apparently, no one's wanting to go to the
we're
US.
working on Europe really hard. We do want to get out there. It's got to be a string of dates, or we're not able to do it. And we're working really hard on getting back in the game here in the States. Where the dates are not few and far between. We're playing, but not to the extent that we were. I mean, I live and die on the road. I love the road.
Yeah,
I love going different places, seeing different faces, playing for different crowds, introducing new people to the music. And it's tough to do that right now. So we're
yeah,
hoping for, we're still working hard to get back to it and see what happens is,
yeah,
I guess, the way it goes. I still have a lot of music in me. I still got a lot of live
yeah,
performance in me. So
definitely. So, have you ever been to Liverpool?
not to Liverpool, no. We've done
No.
besides Italy and Germany, we've done uh what was it called? 𝚑𝚘𝚞𝚒 Holiday at the Weston Supermar. We played
Yeah, yeah,
Wales. We played I can't think of the other
yeah. I
two
think
towns.
you'd be lapped up in the UK because there's nothing much to compare you to. There's not much of a swing
They
scene in this country.
Well, there's a love of music out there, so we're able
Yeah,
to get the work. It's a
yeah,
matter,
yeah,
like I said, it's a matter of, and it's above my pay grade is organizing that into 30 days in a row of being there
yeah,
and popping around and doing our thing, and we'll get there. Um, we've got a lot of relationships out there that are helping us out and trying to make it happen, and we'll make it happen.
yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, I've seen clips of you on YouTube, and all the bands are moving on stage, aren't they? It's a bit
We
like that David Byrne tour he did when. Oh,
it was important to me to find musicians that were entertainers as well. And
yeah,
even though, we sometimes make changes and people can't make all the gigs, it's pretty much a solid unit of people that really enjoy being on stage and putting on that show, you know.
yeah,
Um, we're a freight train. I think we shock a lot of people with the
yeah.
how aggressive the shows are
Yeah. There's a
and
lot of audience participation as well, isn't
oh,
there?
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a party. I like having fun, I
yeah,
like having fun.
yeah. Very Americana, isn't it? I think as well. That's great, man. So, are you a fan of the Beatles as well? You must be.
Now you're
You
putting me on the spot.
can't say no
Now
to a
everybody's gonna
Scouse,
hate
can
me.
you? Yeah,
I like a lot of the Beatles songs. I do not think they were the superstars that people thought they were. I was, like I said, I
is it just Ringo you think about that, or
that's some funny shit. I argue with
yeah,
my drummer all the time. I'm
yeah,
like, hey, wasn't that great?
yeah,
Look, I do it a lot to just get people's goats. I mean, I love
yeah,
obviously I love the Beatles. A lot of their music is incredible. But when I was a
yeah,
kid listening to this stuff, um, you know, I was more a fan of like Tommy James and the Shondells, and I was more a fan of what the Rolling Stones were doing because I think they're a little
yeah.
more
My
aggressive.
folks are more the Stones than the Beatles.
Yeah.
I'm
And
more the
then,
Beatles.
back when Kiss was trying to save the world from disco in like
Yeah, oh,
75 or whatever, a friend of mine gave me, it was one of the imports, it was a cassette tape of AC/DC. It wasn't uh their worldwide release. It was one of the imports. I think it was called TNT. And
yeah,
man, I listened to it and I went, wow, that's that's what music's supposed to be.
yeah. So
So
I
that's
haven't got into
really
AC/DC yet. I've never played the the Back to Black album, which is sacrilege, isn't it? I suppose.
Well,
I'm gonna have to do that.
I'm a huge fan, and I dug when Back in Black came out. We were all scared, but I thought it was a great album. I thought For
Yeah,
Those About to Rock was a great album. Then they kind of lost me for a little bit. Um, I still think they're one of the greatest live shows, even though Bon Scott can't sing to save his life right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Um, they for me, they were just, that's what music was supposed to be. It was loud, it was brash, it was a little messy, it was fun, it made you smile. Um, you know, I've
yeah,
always leaned on bands like that, like Sammy Hagar,
yeah,
uh, Ted Nugent, my early life. Yeah, you appreciated Journey, and you kind of appreciate
yeah.
them more
I like
now, but
Jamie. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But there's
Bit like yacht rock, isn't it? Bit yacht rock, they call it now. But that's it's
could
very,
be.
very
Yeah.
popular.
I don't know about yacht rock, but
Yeah. But my dad's quite rock because my dad went to like, the Isle of Wight festival in '70, and the Doors were on that lineup, and
yeah,
Free, and
free.
Hendrix, and all that. Janis
There's a
Joplin.
but there's a lot of good music throughout the decades. Um, for me, music has to have a musical hook and a vocal hook.
Yeah,
Uh,
be songs 3 minutes long. It's the classic
yeah.
length, isn't it?
Well, look, I can listen to an epic every once in a while. I can sit down
Yeah.
and listen
Bohemian
to
Rhapsody.
I can sit down and listen to Dark
Yeah,
Side of the Moon start to finish every once in a while,
yeah,
you know. I
yeah.
can
Well, I
I
need to
can
get
listen
that
to
on
Billy
vinyl.
Thorpe's Children of the
Yeah.
Sun and enjoy it.
Mm. Stairway
They're
to
just
Heaven.
yeah.
So
So
have you got a vinyl collection?
I do. I do.
Yeah,
It's,
oh,
it's in
nice
the
one.
other room. It's
Yeah,
not as extensive as I'd like it to be.
yeah,
Um, but I think it's just because I'm a little more picky about
yeah, yeah,
the vinyl.
yeah. Got
And
a good turntable as well.
I do. I
Yeah,
spent I
excellent.
can't think of the name of it. I have a
Yeah,
really nice tube
yeah,
amp.
like an Audio Technica or something like that.
No,
But that's what I've got.
it's a uh it's a German thing.
Yeah,
It's pretty amazing.
yeah,
But the tube amp is where it's at. I'm telling you, tube driven into the sound is I like an album. I like to be able to listen to
mm.
the start to finish what an artist wanted you to listen to in order.
But streaming services have kind of killed that off, haven't they?
Yes,
Unfortunately,
absolutely.
listening to an album all the way through.
You don't get the same music quality no matter what they say over this
Yeah,
thing, you know. You
yeah,
don't.
yeah. What I do, I listen to an album on Spotify and then I'll go and buy the vinyl if I like the
Yeah,
album.
I do that, and I do
Yeah,
it like I was frowned on by vinyl purists because I was early on when vinyl was coming back out. I was going buying new releases and things like that. Um,
mm, mm.
uh, I bought what's the Peter Gabriel album? Uh, man,
Oh,
that's
was
pretty
last one, is
amazing
it?
on vinyl. Uh, I'm the worst with names right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like to sit and listen to vinyl. I don't do it enough.
yeah. Oh, all his albums are one word, aren't they? Like so or up or us.
But he's brilliant. I saw them live at the Forum in Los Angeles, and it was one of the most incredible live shows I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, I've seen him in Manchester, yeah, about 11, 12 years ago.
Yeah, he's incredible,
Yeah,
incredible.
he was a great artist. He's another one I got into through my dad.
Yeah,
My dad saw Gabriel in about 87. He saw him.
yep,
Oh, he's a proper musician, isn't he, Peter Gabriel?
yes. Yeah, they all were back then, you know.
Yeah. And he's quite popular in the States as well. I follow someone on Instagram
He
and
was
she's
huge.
obsessed
He was huge.
obsessed with
It's funny though, out here we're fickle. So when he left Genesis, like you couldn't be a
him.
fan of his and a fan of Genesis anymore.
Yeah,
I got friends
yeah,
that all like play a
yeah,
Phil Collins song and they'll
yeah.
curse
Yeah,
me. God damn it, he
yeah,
ruined the
yeah,
band. I'm like,
yeah.
your your opinion.
Yeah, it's like my wife, her uncle, he's, Gabriel era Genesis. He does a few Genesis with Phil Collins.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got
they
friends
stopped
like
being
that.
Genesis from like 75 when Gabriel left.
Yep. Yeah, I can be a fan of all of it.
Yeah, definitely. Because like my favorite band, Queen, after '84, they didn't have any success in America.
Yeah.
The "I Want to Break Free" video just killed it for them because they're all dressed in drag, and a lot of
Yeah.
Americans didn't get it apparently. So
Some of
it's
us
it's
did.
sad. It's sad if you ever lose America. That's a big dent, isn't it?
It
It can
is.
be.
It is. Yes, because we spend a lot of money on that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Now, I believe you've got a big birthday coming up as well, mate.
Yeah. I'm going to be the big 6-0
Yeah. Have you got
in
any
a
plans?
little over a month. I believe I'm supposed to be going doing an appearance somewhere. I haven't really celebrated a birthday in a while. Me and my
Oh, you'll have
sons,
to for this one,
me
for
and
this
me and
big
my
one.
sons, and just because she has to go, my girlfriend. On birthdays, we try to go to Carniceria. I don't know if they have them over there, but there's places like they're called Texas de Brazil or Fogo de Chao, and it's like a Brazilian. Uh,
Yeah. Like a steakhouse or something.
it's a steakhouse, but they
Yeah.
come around with skewers, and
Yeah.
it's just
Oh,
unlimited
yeah, we have
supply
that
of
here.
pieces of
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You have the paddle, don't you?
yeah, yep.
You turn the paddle to green if you want
Green or red,
more
yeah.
steak sliced
But
off. Yeah.
that's what we like to do on birthdays is put ourselves into meat comas and
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Oh, sounds like my idea of a good night.
that's me too. Some
So you're a
wine and a
beer
good
drinker as
steak.
well? Do you like a
Huh?
good beer? Do you like a good
I
beer?
am not a beer fan, and I will tell you why.
No?
When I was 11 years old, I worked on a golf course here in Louisiana, my
Yeah.
first job, and they had these reach-in coolers and to
Yeah.
with the beer in it. And I don't think anybody ever cleaned those out. And that
Oh,
smell
man.
of
Oh, then you
humidity
clean the pump.
beer.
Yeah.
Oh man, when I
Like a
smell a
stale
beer
smell.
now. So there's one place, my Barry sax player and friend Will, this guy in that picture, he'll
Yeah.
laugh at this because there's a place in Las Vegas called the Four Kegs, and they serve the beer in these big steins,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean
German
these big
thing, that, isn't it?
goblets, and
Yeah.
they keep them so cold that the beer turns to like a slushy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the only time I'll drink a beer. No,
Yeah. Oh, I'm a bit
I'm
of a
a
beer
wine guy. I'm a
connoisseur, but
whiskey
I
and a
love
wine
beer.
guy. I like whiskey and wine.
But I love Brooklyn Lager and Samuel Adams, the American
So it
one.
all it all tastes like moldy bread to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just not a beer
You,
guy.
yeah, you like a Chianti, don't you?
I love a good
Yeah.
Chianti. I love
Yeah.
a good Chianti. Um, I love a good wine, and I like a
Yeah.
good whiskey.
Yeah. So can you try and sum up what The Jungle Book has done for you and your family? It's one of my favorite Disney films.
Well, there was another resurgence of my father. My father reinvented himself several times throughout his career,
Yeah.
just
A
when
bit of a
they,
Renaissance man.
he would come to
Yeah.
the end of the small combo and put a big band together and hit it off as a big band. Big
Yeah.
band's phased out. He puts another combo together, hits it big. Rock and roll happens. He starts doing rock and roll. Um,
Yeah.
Disney came around and stuck him in Jungle Book, and it was just another
Yeah.
resurgence for him.
Yeah.
I do think that it's one of the most recognizable Louis Prima songs in the world.
Yeah.
It's a song when I'm
Definitely.
trying to tell somebody that doesn't know who my father is, I'll go
Yeah.
King Louis, Jungle Book.
Yeah. And that could be a
Um,
starting point, can't it, for people to do a bit of research then as
it
well?
it is, and because I think everybody, I don't think I've met a single person ever
Yeah.
that I've said Jungle Book and they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You get a blank expression. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, no, they all know it, they all appreciate it.
Yeah.
Um, and it put my father on the map for another decade, you know,
Yeah.
which was my father
Yeah.
doing what he did, changing with the
Yeah.
times and being relevant.
Yeah. It was good for his career then. Yeah.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I love tracks like Just a Gigolo as well. It's a really good song.
Can't do a show without doing it. There's a
Yeah,
couple say if
yeah,
I didn't do Jump, Jive, and Wail or Just a Gigolo,
yeah,
they'd boo me off the stage.
yeah, yeah. So is Robin Hood one of your dad's songs as well?
Robin Hood was
Yeah,
one original Louis Prima song. Yeah, we
yeah,
redid that on our second album. It's pretty good arrangement.
yeah. Really
Yeah,
clever lyrics to that as well, aren't they?
it's it's
Yeah,
a good job. I can't remember
yeah,
his collaborator on that, but my father was actually pretty good with lyrics and phrases. I
yeah,
don't think people. I mean, look, he wrote "Sunday Kind of Love." That's one of the biggest songs in musical history. I mean, it's got a country Grammy of all things.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
he
Crossed over.
yeah, he was good at it. I do love Robin Hood. My band,
Yeah.
not so much, but
It's a bit hard to play, is it? Or,
it's a the
yeah,
song we did, the way we arranged it, it's a tough song. Yeah.
they're hard to replicate. Yeah, live.
Yeah. We do it though. They just got I used to use it every the first song for every sound check just because it's a good
Mm,
vocal warm up for me. And
yeah,
they all got tired of it.
yeah. So is New Orleans, is that your own song, Louis?
That's my own song.
Yeah, I love that one. That's great, that.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I think we have a follow-up to that on our new album as well. Um, it just kind of I write with my drummer A.D. Adams, my guitar player Ryan Adams, and our
yeah,
former sax player Marco Polo contributed. It was just kind of a collaboration of throwing ideas together,
yeah,
and that my guitar player started lumping along that guitar part, and
yeah,
my drummer came up with the line "Long way to New Orleans,"
yeah. It's very
and that's all
rhythmic,
it.
isn't it?
Well, that's what he's saying,
Yeah,
and I wrote it down, and then you go play with it for a while and arrange the song and write the rest of the song and write the rest of the lyrics.
yeah,
And the lyrics were kind of easy. There's a um, little shout out to a bar that I hang out down here called the Max, and a little shout out to a band that are friends of mine down here, the Yat Pack,
I bet
that
you like
fit
that,
well
Louis.
with it.
Bet you like the
Well, they
shout
fit
out.
in the song without having to know who they are and things like
Mm,
that. And I think that song just kind of lumps right along, man. I think that
yeah,
song screams New Orleans.
yeah. Nice ode to where you're from. Yeah,
Yep, absolutely.
yeah. I like the stressed horns in it as well.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good tune.
Yeah. Go, let's go. That one of yours?
That's one of
Yeah,
mine. That
yeah. Love that as well.
I wrote that one start to finish. It's
Yeah,
um I think it was the first song we started putting together for the album. Uh I actually wrote it in my shower, started writing it.
yeah, yeah.
Um
Oh,
it's just a fun
inspiration
just a
can
fun
strike
little
anywhere,
song.
can't it?
Oh yeah. Could be
Yeah,
the tapping of a car on the road, whatever, will spark
yeah,
a song in you.
yeah, yeah. No, I love that, and Oh Babe as well. Very up tempo and
Yep.
good pace to it.
That's one of my father's originals as well.
Yeah,
Uh, good tune. We use
yeah.
that as an opener sometimes live.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you
Yeah.
obviously know what works and what doesn't. With got to have a strong opener, haven't you?
I do know how to put on a show. That I know.
Yeah. No,
One
you
of
look
our,
it.
you
Look
know
like
what,
you do, mate.
one of our other openers is Riff Raff from AC/DC.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You've definitely got that rock element here, haven't you? I
Yeah.
think. So, what do the next 6 months hold for you and the band?
Just working and trying to get back on the road. That's it. As soon as we
Yeah,
can get things kind of more organized, get the album put out, and get on with our lives. That's it. Just keep doing what we're doing.
yeah. So you're in the midst of trying to arrange a release date for the third album. Yeah,
We're always trying. Like I said, we have
yeah,
to have X amount of dates and things in
yeah,
line, promotions wise and things. We'll get there, you know,
yeah.
hopefully sooner than later, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Now look forward to hearing the third album.
Yep, absolutely. Look forward out there. It's going to
Yeah.
be a good time.
Would you look into putting your albums on vinyl as well?
So we've looked at it a couple times. It's probably going to be a little bit easier right now because the costs have come down. It's a
Yeah,
whole nother uh, method of producing and mastering.
yeah.
So it's an additional cost. I'd like to see it happen. We'll see. We'll see what
It's
happens.
expensive, isn't it?
Yes,
Expensive.
Hey,
That's why the
the
vinyl
costs
prices
have
are
come
so
down
much.
on it now, but it's I think we can make it happen.
Yeah, especially if it's like a coloured vinyl. You're
Yeah.
looking about £40 here.
I'm not gonna be serious that silly about
Yeah,
it. If I do vinyl, it's gonna
yeah.
be vinyl.
Yeah, I'd like to have your two albums in my vinyl collection, mate.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah,
absolutely.
be nice. Do you remember the Stray Cats?
Love the Stray Cats. I actually got to sing with Brian Setzer a few years ago, when
Yeah,
with
'cause
his big band.
yeah,
Yeah,
80s. Yeah, they were
yeah.
doing your kind of music, weren't they?
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
the 80s.
Absolutely. Super nice guy. We actually
Yeah,
back in the 80s shared a sound man for a little while.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing that album with Runaway Boys on and Stray Cat Strut. I was playing that going to work the other day.
Yep.
I'll have to play that the whole way through, I think. Then get
Good
the
album.
vinyl.
It's
Yeah,
fun. Good stuff.
yeah, because Michael Bublé's done a lot for swing music, hasn't he? Past
Well,
20 years.
he's got fans. I don't know if I'm a fan or not. I know that he paid a lot of money to get that album out, knows a lot of people, and maybe doesn't so much like his decisions now, but I think he keeps the genre um, on the mark, and in the
Yeah,
public eye. And
yeah,
look, if you're making music, I'm a fan.
yeah. And he seems a nice fella as well. I've seen him
Yeah,
live. And at the end, he takes his microphone off of his ear and he's just singing without a
yep,
microphone, a cappella, and it was really
yeah,
impressive.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, listen, Louis, thanks so much for your time. It's been an absolute joy to speak to you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for
I've
having me.
been really excited to speak to, like you said, a man who obviously knows his stuff with a
Uh,
lot of nous, yeah, a lot
I
of
like to
knowledge.
think I know my stuff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You can't not being born into the
Yeah.
life you have, can you?
Well, thanks for having me. I
It's
appreciate
been a
it.
joy. Thanks so much, mate. Yeah, and I'll speak to you
Yep.
again.
We'll see you
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
All right.
Good luck, pal. Thanks, mate. Take
Bye-bye.
care.